Well, welcome to this week's edition of the Don't Argue. And I'll tell you what a massive week it has been, and it will be, of course, too. And, well, the superstar himself, Kurt Gidley, has been kind enough to join us. All thanks to Palmerbet, of course. Gids, how are you, buddy?
Certainly, Matty. Yep, all thanks to Palmerbet, mate. Coming remotely, mate, from an old trip away, mate. Used to be footy, camp. Used to be in camp at Coogee. So, yeah, the Crown Plaza at Coogee, mate. And, spent a little bit of time just down the road at the Coogee Bay Hotel also for those bonding sessions. Those bonding sessions, mate, on the first night were important. So, nice to be back here.
I reckon if the walls of that pub could talk, mate, I reckon there'd be some unbelievable stories.
The walls at the hotel could talk, mate, but let's not go there anyway.
Hey, listen, obviously, at the time of recording, Origin hasn't played, all right? So we must state that early, Gids, recording this show.
Sure.
So we don't know the result of Origin. I'm tipping that the Blues have got the job done, mate. You're tipping that the Blues have got the job done and they've won the series. And well done to the crew.
Up the Blues.
Up the Blue Baggers, mate. They might not. They might make it an absolute joke of us. But, hey, listen, let's have a recap of 17 action last week. You're all over the Sharks. Roll the Storm. 2 losses. Back-to-back losses for the Storm, mate. They have this little bit of a lull around Origin, though, each and every year, don't they, Gids?
Well, they do, mate, because normally they've got a few players featuring Origin and predominantly Queensland players because of their recruitment over the years. There's been a lot of Queensland guys, sort of coming through the juniors and through their late teens. They pick them up early from Queensland and get them into the Melbourne system. So, yeah, look, this time of the year is always a challenge for the Storm to, I guess, maintain a team on the field and also maintain that record that Craig Bellamy likes to maintain, mate, throughout the year. So, yeah, I've got no doubt they'll still be in that top 4 at the back end of the year, but they always have their challenges around Origin time. So, yeah, the Sharks were off to a fly there last week with my tips, but went downhill the following night.
It certainly did. But I must admit, a better performance from your Knights, mate. They actually scored. Their offense was good. Getting some players back now, Gids.
Well, I thought they were off to a great start too, Matty. It was a great opportunity. South had a few of their key players out with Origin camp, but yeah, they got off to a good start. There was a turning point there where South went short, dropout. Knights didn't compete. South got it back, then penalty against, and then they scored. And then they, on the back of that try, it was a sort of a 100-metre set. They scored 3 tries in a row, South did, and it was all over. There was not enough resilience shown by the Knights, and unfortunately went down with on the back of a bit of a touch-up, really.
Yeah, and what about the Broncos, mate? We spoke about it last week. First victory against the Dragons since 2017. That was an amazing stat, and good to break that hoodoo.
Yeah, look, I was on the Dragons just after their last couple of performances. Anyways, this was the game of the round for me last week, but. Yeah, huge game from the Broncos, and again they're playing pretty consistent. The Broncos, and obviously plenty of belief in the squad at the moment. Like they come into that game, pretty heavily underdogs. Really, like there was, and whether the Dragons were a little bit complacent around the media hype around the Broncos having 10 players out and injured guys and guys in Origin. Sometimes that can create a little bit of complacency, and Broncos certainly didn't care who was pulling on a jersey that day. They all executed their plays and played well. It was a really good win.
Yeah, Broncos best is unbelievable for mine. Hey, what about in the bunker review, mate? The top 4, current odds, all thanks to Palmerbet to make the top 4. Cowboys, they're currently on 26 points. They're second on the ladder. They're at $1.02. Storm are in third on 24 points at $1.10. Sharks are fourth, 24 points at $1.70. Broncos are fifth on 22 points at $3.10. The Eels are 6th, 22 points, $3.50. And the Rabbits are 7th, 20 points, $13. I must admit, a quick look at that, and I reckon that the Broncos and the Eels are the 2 teams that are at the value around the 310, 350 mark. What do you reckon, Gids?
Well, they're pretty good odds, I reckon, for the Broncos. I'm not 100% still about the Eels at the moment. But look, it's an interesting phase, this post-Origin sort of phase that, after Origin, whether players are fatigued and can back up or pick up an injury, certainly during that Origin period. And, this phase between Game 3 and the semis is an interesting time. So Broncos, are probably some really good odds there as far as pushing for that top 4, but you just got to maintain your squad and maintain your your consistency throughout this period. But an interesting time. But yeah, Cowboys are a shoe-in for top 4 for me. I think the Storm will still be there, and I think the Sharks will be, along with, of course, Penrith, who are way in front of all of them. But
so you don't see it changing, mate? You reckon it'll stay as is?
I don't see it changing, but if there's a threat from anyone, I think the Broncos, the way they've been playing, the amount of belief and the way they're executing their plays. So I think they're the best odds from an outsider to push into that top 4. Be interesting to see if the Storm can maintain their spot in the top 4. Probably the Sharks as well.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Right, put a line through them, big fella. This is my favourite segment now, each and every.
Put a line through them.
Now, listen. So we put a line through the Bulldogs, the Titans, and the Tigers, mate. All right, I'll let you off.
Go on.
Okay, I've let you off, but we need some action now, Gids. The Warriors are sitting on 12 points. They got the Eels, Raiders, and the Storm to come. Knights are also on 12 points. They got the Sea Eagles, Roosters, and Bulldogs. Honestly, Gids, we can put a line through both those, the Knights and the Warriors, surely, can't we?
Well, hang on. Hey, just slow up there for a second, Matty.
I know where you go, mate.
Warriors, gone.
So they're gone, right? So you're happy to put a line
through
Warriors. Right, that's fair.
Happy through.
Now, come on,
happy
mate.
to put it through.
Mate, you're Knights. I know you're loyal. I know you're staunch, big fella. And I know you're not game to put a line through them, but surely the Knights are gone, mate. They can't make the 8.
It's not looking pretty, that 12, the gap between Knights and Raiders, the next team above them, 4 points. That's not good to look at, to be honest. But I'm going to give it one more week, Matty, for the great Newcastle Knights. We're going to see how they go, mate, this weekend against the Eagles away at Brookie.
They lose this week, mate. That is it. Line through Dornsky.
The gap is going to be too big, I'd say, from there. But
it's going to break your heart to put a
line.
It's going to break your heart to put a line through them, isn't it?
It will. I might as well put a line through my heart, mate, at that stage. But, mate, give them one more week. Let's see what they come up with against the Eagles away. They're playing pretty good, the Eagles, too. So, but Warriors for me, gone.
I'm letting you off, mate, okay? I'm letting you off this week. So, Warriors, Bulldogs, Titans, Tigers. For what it's worth, I reckon your Knights should be in that pen through line, ballpoint, whatever you're going to do.
You're probably not the only one thinking that, mate, on this, the viewers watching this one.
Righto, mate. Let's have a look, of course, this weekend's round of action. Round 18 of the NRL, Gids, all thanks to Palmerbet, of course. Gamble responsibly. That's the key message. Cowboys for the Sharks Friday night, 6 p.m. Queensland Country Bank Stadium. Cowboys at $1.60 head-to-head. Sharks at $2.30 at the line. The Cowboys minus 4.5 at $1.90. The key stats here, Gids, Sharks have won their last 7 straight against the Cowboys. That is a stat. And the Cowboys are aiming for their 5th straight win. They're 10-1 in their last 11 games. They are on fire. Are they going to continue on their win?
They are. Yeah, I think they will, Matty. I like the way they're playing. I like the way they're executing their plays. Everyone's on the same page, and they're all working really hard for each other. I think this is probably the game of the round for me. I think both teams have been playing really well. I think they were probably the biggest outsiders, at the start of the year, as far as would these two teams feature in the top 4. I think I had the Sharks in the top 4 right at the start of the year, but certainly Cowboys didn't have them featuring anywhere near the top 4. So look, they're playing really well. What is it, 10-1 at the moment? Their last 10 games. So
that's huge.
That's a lot of belief and momentum they're carrying into these games here. So. I'm going to back the Cows on this one, with them being at home for this game, but I think it's going to be a close one.
Yeah, beauty, mate. I'm with you too. I reckon they are just playing sensational rugby at the moment. The Cowboys. Hey, Eels v Warriors Friday night, 7:55, Combank Stadium, head-to-head. Eels $1.16. Warriors $5.30. At the line, the Eels minus 15.5, $1.90. Key stats: Warriors haven't beaten the Eels since 2018. That's huge. Warriors haven't won back-to-back games since round 5. You got a feel for the Warriors. They've just got back home to NZ, mate. Surely we could have given them a few home games over there.
Yeah, well, mate, I would have thought they'd earned them. That's for sure. But they're straight back on a plane, coming back over again. So, yeah, I'm not sure they'll be jumping out of their skin for that one. It'd be nice for them to be back home, playing back in front of their home fans, being back around their family members. I can't imagine when they're back at the the security gates, mate, and going through customs with their passport and cleaning their boots. That was the other one. When you were going to New Zealand, you had to scrub all your boots clean because you weren't allowed to have dirt on the bottom of your boots from contamination. So, yeah, mate, the Warriors boys will be cleaning their boots again to come back over to Oz. So I'm going to go with the Eels, mate, on this one. But again, this period between Origin and the semis, the Eels need to really start playing with some consistency and chalking a few wins back to back. So they'll need to get this one done. But yeah, I'm definitely Eels on this one.
Yeah, beautifully done, mate. What about the Roosters and the Dragons Saturday, 3 p.m. at Central Coast Stadium, head-to-head? Roosters $1.44, Dragons at $2.81. At the line, the Roosters -6.5, $1.90. Key stats here, Gids. Dragons won the Anzac Day clash 14-12. Was a ripping game from memory. Roosters currently on a 4-game losing streak, and they have not lost 5 in a row since 2016. So that's an interesting stat, Gids.
4-game losing streak. I wasn't even aware of that. Yeah, I know they haven't been performing at probably where we all expected and probably what their expectations were prior to the start of the season. But that's a huge stat. I know Trent Robinson will be still believing in the playing group that he's got there at the moment, but they certainly won't want to break that record and be back to 5 losses in a row. Be interesting to see if Teddy backs up after Origin. He's just such a class player with a huge work ethic, and I dare say maybe if the Blues get a win and they celebrate that, they may rest Teddy. But and just because his work rate's so big in Origin, he's had a huge series. If Blues get up, he's got to be the player of the series for me. And I know some feedback out of the New South Wales camp around Victor Radley just being in the squad. A really great leader and certainly an important part of the Roosters team. But Ben Hunt, interesting to see if he backs up also. He's played a big Origin series for Queensland, so we know how influential he is for the Dragons. So if he backs up, then I guess they're definitely a chance. I do like that Cody Ramsey. I watched that game last week of the Dragons, and young fellow who seems to be given everything 100% in everything he does. But I'm going to stick with the Roosters on this one. But if the Dragons play like they did, mate, in that Anzac test, they're a big chance.
Yeah, right. They might be the value of the weekend at 281 head-to-head. Hey, Sea Eagles take on your Knights, mate. This is it. This is it, big fella. This is the season-defining game. 5:30 p.m, 4 Pines Park, head-to-head. Sea Eagles $1.35. The Knights at $3.23. At the line, the Sea Eagles -8.5, $1.90. Key stats: Manly smashed them in round 5, 30-6. Gids. Knights have not beaten a top 18 this year. Gids. That is amazing.
Fair income.
Yeah,
jeez.
And you won't put a line through them.
Terrible to hear. That is terrible to hear.
You used to put a line through them.
Haven't beat a top 18 this year. That's going to make it hard to make the semis, and you can't do that, isn't it? Whew.
Come on, mate. Who you going with? Who you going with, mate?
Well, mate, I'm sticking with me beloved Knights, but that's only just my heart speaking there. Look, I've been really, really happy with the 2 wingers over the last few weeks, Edric Lee, Dom Young. Like Dom Young, young fellow who's come from the Super League into the NRL system, which is it's a pretty big challenge and leap that. But, mate, he's been one of our most courageous players. He made a couple of try-saving tackles there last week, one where he saved a try, and then at the end of the next set, he scored the try. So, yeah, and I think Dave Clemmer's had one of his best years in probably 2 or 3 seasons. So great to see Clem going well. But we need some leaders within this team to stand up and lead by example, not just with their actions, but certainly with their words, and drive the rest of their teammates to get the job done here. But I reckon this is the Knights boys' last chance to get to the semis. That needs to start with this week.
Right, mate.
The old Eagles team's looking pretty flash, though.
Geez, you're loyal, mate. Honestly, I've got to hand it to you.
Hoping for a COVID outbreak in the Sea Eagles dressing room.
Hey, listen, Saturday night, Titans taking on the Broncos, 7:35 at Seabus Super Stadium. Head-to-head, Titans 3.10, Broncos $1.37 at the line. The Broncos minus 8.5, $1.90. Key stats here, Broncos won their round 12 clash 35-24. In 5 of their last 6 wins, the Broncos have scored 30-plus points. So offensively, they are huge. And what about this one, Gids? The Titans have not scored 30 points this season in a game. Good stats,
yeah,
mate.
I'm all over the Broncos here, mate.
Boys.
Great stats coming out by the Palmer Bet team. Yeah, look, the Titans are just in all sorts, mate. They're lacking belief. They're lacking execution on everything they do, mate. When your confidence is down and you struggle for momentum, every pass isn't quite there. It's not quite hitting the mark, and that has an influence on the next person where they catch and whether there's errors. And then defensively, if there's not some real leaders on the edges making the right defensive calls from a structure point of view, mate, it just makes it super, super hard. Yeah. So it's a challenge. But on the flip side, the Broncos are absolutely flying. They're just outside the top 4 at the moment. They're playing with a whole heap of confidence. Adam Reynolds was flying there again last week, and mate, they're just loving life at the moment. So I'm all over the Broncos.
Yeah,
mate, for this one.
Going good for me. I reckon they're that sneaky side that could sneak into that top 4 come the end of the year. Their best is good enough. They play that exciting brand of rugby. I reckon that can catch a few sides off guard. That is for sure. Hey, Sunday.
I mean, if you go back 12 months, I think all 3 Queensland teams were horrible. Broncos, Cowboys, Titans. I think Titans were the best team out of the 3 Queensland teams last year, where they actually made the semis. But it's been flipped on its head.
Titans this year are real contenders.
Yeah, that's right. So big turnaround in under 12 months.
Yeah, my oath. Hey, Sunday, 2 p.m, CommBank Stadium, Tigers for the Panthers. Head-to-head, Tigers $4. I must admit, I thought they'd be a little bit pricier than that. The Panthers $1.25, which, to be honest, I thought they'd be a hell of a lot shorter than that. At the line, the Panthers minus 12.5, $1.90. Key stats, they split their games last year. And the other key stat, this is first v last on the ladder. So Panther plus minus is plus 306. The Tiger plus minus is minus 196. So that just gives you a bit of a snapshot of the difference in these teams, kids, doesn't it? That's a huge difference.
Huge difference. Look, mate, I watched the Tigers game last week against the Eels, and I thought they played pretty well. Like, they had the young guy who debuted sent the sin bin, which was a pretty bad blow. But I thought they fought. I thought they were resilient. I thought some of their shape was good. They were a genuine chance of beating Para again last week. We know they beat them earlier in the year, but I thought they played. Okay. As if I was a West Tigers fan, I would have been reasonably pretty proud of them. But yeah, there's always some speculation, within the media, whether, it doesn't even have to be true, but there's still speculation that circulates around Luke Brooks. And then there was something around Adam Dewey, saying he'd rather play reserve grade if he's not picked at 5'8". But mate, they could be complete porkies, within the media, but they're just negative stories that are circulating around the club and around its playing group that don't help. So,
and there's always they don't
help.
Negativity around the West Tigers. They just can't seem to cop a break, can they?
No, they can't. The only way you can swing that around, mate, is by winning games and showing some leadership within the club. But they're billions this week against the Panthers, I'd say.
Yeah, I just $1.25. That's unbelievable. Hey, Storm v Raiders Sunday, 4:05 Amy Park. Of course, Storm have lost their last couple. They've been belted, to be honest. Head-to-head, Storm $1.31. Raiders at $3.50. The Storm at the line minus 10.5, $1.90. Storm won their round 5 clash 30-16. Storm have a 5-game winning streak against the Raiders. Raiders won their last clash, however, though, at Amy Park. And to be honest, there's going to be a few Storm players that, are going to be obviously involved in Origin. Do they all play come Sunday? Are the Raiders the value here, Gids?
Yeah, yeah, certainly a Storm are special, mate. And your man Pappenhausen, mate, he was struggling last week. He got knocked around a little bit and he was limping for a lot of the game. I think it was a lower back than a knee. So he's definitely not 100% at the moment. I don't know if it was just that game last week where he copped a few knocks, but when he's on, he has a huge influence on how the Storm are attacking. Oh no, he'll bounce back, but it'd be interesting to see. I think Cameron Munster may be out of COVID at that stage, so he should be available.
I think that's what they're banking on, isn't it? Because if he's available, the Storm will win, mate. If he plays, it's as simple as that, I reckon.
Yeah, look, I agree. I just wonder how, mate, you sort of up for playing. Once you've just come out of COVID, I know it's only sort of knocks you around for 3 or 4 days, and then you sort of come good. But when you're strapping the boots on, you got to play 80 minutes straight, and you're such an influential player in the Storm's team. It might knock him around a little bit, and then obviously there's Harry Grant backing up from Origin, so it might be a bit tighter than what we think. But I'm still going to go with the Storm with this one, mate. Just don't see him lose too many games consistently in a row.
Yeah, mate. What about final game? Bulldogs for the Rabbitohs, Sunday, 6:15 p.m. at Core Stadium. Head-to-head, Bulldogs 350. Rabbits at $1.31 at the line. The Rabbits minus 10.5 at $1.90. Key stats: South won their round 6 clash comfortably, 36-16. Alex Johnson just continuing his magnificent season. Has 8 tries in his last 7 games against the Bulldogs, mate. Which way are you going here, Gids?
Oh, mate, I've just had a malfunction with my app here. Sorry, mate. Go. Just can you run through the stats again there for me, Matty? Sorry.
So South won their round 6 clash 36-16, and Alex Johnson has 8 tries in his last 7 games against the Bulldogs. That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, the South. Latrell played well last week. I thought he went a bit over the top with some of his actions on the field, but he's still such an influential player with that club. Right. Cody Walker played well last week, so they're still I don't know whether they're a premiership contender still at the moment, but they're still winning games, and I think they're flying under the radar a little bit with Penrith obviously up the top, and there's plenty of talk about the Cowboys and Broncos. I feel like South is sort of flying under the radar a little bit at the moment.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Now, listen, the punters want to hear what Kurt Gidley's special. You got him off to a flyer last week, Gids, with the Sharks getting the job done. What are you thinking this week, big fella? Like, which way are you going?
Mate, I've got a couple of bits just to have a look at for the team to have a look at here. So, mate, Cowboys, I think definitely up for a win. But I think, Sharks are playing well. But so I think that's what's going to be a bit of a tight one. Cowboys to win 1-12, $3.10.
Yeah, that's your best bet of the weekend, Gids. And I like
that's my best bet.
They're playing well. Yep. Now, what about the value for the punters, mate?
Mate, I'm going to try and pick the round. I haven't done it successfully, Matty, this year. I've come close a couple of times. But looking at the round this week, I think there's an out favourite for a lot of the games, which are all pretty short. But when you try and add all those up, and if you can nail the 8 games, I've gone with Cowboys to win, Eels to win, Roosters to win, Eagles, Broncos, Panthers, Storm, and Rabbitohs. And there's some decent value around $11 there from the boys at Palmerbet.
Oh, I love it, mate. With a little price push, even better.
Yeah, Hey,
now listen,
I need to nail a perfect round.
You did say the Sea Eagles, didn't you? Not the Knights.
Yeah, I did. But I want to get a full round, mate. I'm just,
Right, I like it, mate. So you're just going all the faves effectively.
All the faves, yep.
Job done. Love it. Absolutely.
Decent value there, mate, if all the favourites get up. But we all know that just because your favourite, there's no guarantee.
No, absolutely. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, mate. I'm going to actually I'm chiming in with you, mate. I'm going to have something on all the faves this weekend because I just sense a little bit of confidence. And when you tip against the Knights, it takes a fair bit for you to do that. So I'm going to run with you. I'm going to jump in with you, mate. Hey, listen, download the app, Palmerbet, of course. Gamble responsibly. That is the key message, kids. Do it in a responsible manner. But there's plenty there to see in the bookies bag and all that kind of stuff. They do a wonderful job. Like, subscribe, share. Give it to us. Chuck some questions up online. Do whatever you want to do, kids.
For sure.
We're big blokes, mate. We can take it. We've got big shoulders. We can.
That's it, mate. Yeah, give it to us. Yeah, it won't be the first time. Won't be the last time. I'll be criticised. That's for sure.
And one last bit of advice, mate. You stay away from the Coogee Hotel tonight, big fella.
Yeah, I might just duck in, mate, just for a quick look to see if anything's changed.
Oh,
mate,
no,
pretty quiet, mate.
Your picture will be up on the wall, mate, for sure. Like, it'll be like, the King's back.
Yeah, be banned. I'll be on the ban list.
Hey, listen, mate, great to talk to you. And what a fantastic week of Origin football it is. Not only, of course, State of Origin, mate, but also round 18 in the NRL. It's going to be an absolute ripper, mate.
For sure, Matty. Thanks, mate. All the best, everyone.